When you can't make it to City Hall or the school board meetings, local journalists from Duluth News Tribune will be there to report the facts and get your questions answered. Local news works for you. Stay up to date at duluthnewstribune.com.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Wednesday, June 14th. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union's services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now here's a look at today's headlines. Fires are banned in the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness starting today as the drought continues to spread across the Northland with little rainfall since April. The Superior National Forest is banning fires in the wilderness and limiting all other fires, including campfires and charcoal grills, to designated developed areas with fire rings, such as drive to public and private campgrounds and resorts and private homes and cabins. Gas and propane stoves are still allowed in all areas. The Minnesota Department of Natural Resources, St. Louis, Cook, Carleton, and Lake counties, and the Bois Forte, Grand Portage, and Fond du Lac bands of Lake Superior Chippewa are also enacting campfire restrictions at the same time. The DNR also noted that fireworks are banned on all public and private property outside of city limits, and that no burning permits will be issued in the affected areas. Fires are also banned across much of northwestern Ontario, including the Quetico Wilderness area. The orders will remain in effect until conditions improve, which means until after significant rainfall. So far, that's not in the forecast. Most wildfires that start in Minnesota are caused by humans, most by accidental spreading of small fires, some arson, while lightning is often the second leading cause. Tom Hall, supervisor of the Superior National Forest, said the national system of moving wildland firefighters where they are needed has left Minnesota crews at home and is sending extra resources to northern Wisconsin and Michigan where conditions are dry. Hall said that, while the northern forest turned green after winter snows melted, that green is hiding very dry conditions for so-called fuels, like leaves, grass, dead trees, and twigs on the ground. The National Weather Service in Duluth on Tuesday warned of critical fire weather conditions with very low humidity and winds gusting to 18 miles per hour that could cause rapid spreading of any fire that starts. The city's largest manufacturer may soon gain access to additional financial resources that could help it grow. Aviation publications across the nation have been abuzz since Duluth-based Cirrus Aircraft filed paperwork with the Hong Kong Stock Exchange on June 8th, setting the stage for an expected initial public offering in the near future. The International Finance Review, a publication based in London, reports the company hopes to raise about $300 million by taking the business public in Hong Kong. No specific timeline for the launch of publicly traded equity shares has yet been revealed. An entity known as China Aviation Industry General Aircraft, an offshoot of the government-owned Aviation Industry Corp of China, acquired Cirrus in 2011 and has led the business to new heights, driving annual billings last year to more than $765 million, behind the sale of 629 aircraft, including 90 personal jets. In addition, the company's bread and butter piston-driven airplanes. Cirrus Aircraft of Duluth remains an industry leader in the manufacture of single-engine propeller planes and personal jets. In its filing, company officials stressed that Cirrus will not be traded stateside and therefore should not be subject to regulation by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. Isle Royale's transplanted wolf population continues to grow while the island's moose population continues to starve and crash. Those were the findings released Wednesday from the 64th Annual Winter Survey held earlier this year by researchers from Michigan Technological University. It's the longest-running research project on predator-prey relationships in the world. The survey estimated that 31 wolves live on the island, up from 28 last year. The moose count was 967, down 28% from 2022, and down 54% from 2 years ago, two of the steepest annual declines ever in the study. The survey doesn't include any new wolf pups or moose calves born this spring. Of the 31 adult wolves on the island, all but 2 were likely born there, descendants of the 18 wolves transplanted on Isle Royale in 2018 and 2019, after being trapped and transported from Minnesota, Michigan's Upper Peninsula, and several Ontario islands in Lake Superior. At least 3 groups of wolves had new pups in 2022 that survived into winter. Meanwhile, the number of young moose seen this winter, just 1.7% of the overall moose population, was far below the normal and helps explain why the population is crashing. Spruce budworm insects are killing balsam fir, a key moose food, and blood-sucking winter ticks are stressing moose to the point that they can't survive winter. Of the 10 GPS-collared moose that died over the past year, 70% starved, 20% were killed by wolves, and 10% died from unknown causes. That starvation rate is far higher than past years when an average of just 5% of dead moose studied had perished from lack of food. Researchers said moose were so desperate for food they were trying to strip the thin bark off aspen trees, which is highly unusual. The island's rebounded wolf population is doing a number on the island's beaver population, which is down about 50% from before wolves were reintroduced in 2018. Beavers are an important summer food for wolves when moose are harder to catch. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought by the Superior Telegram's history podcast, Archive Dive.
Weather for the Duluth area today, looking at smoky and hazy conditions in the early parts of the day, and then mostly cloudy skies for the afternoon. Looking ahead at temperatures in the low 70s this afternoon, getting into the upper 40s for tonight. For Thursday, cooling off a bit, mostly sunny and breezy, with high temperatures dropping to the lower 60s. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Robert Pointer.
Thank you to Archive Dive for their support. The monthly history podcast, hosted by Superior Telegram reporter Maria Lockwood, dips into the archives of historic events, people, and places around Superior and Douglas County. Look for a new episode today at superiortelegram.com or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by John Myers and Peter Passy. Thank you for listening to the Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.